So the number one trend across various social media platforms right now is Don Corleone, referring to Donald Trump and his inability to post a bond in the New York Attorney General's civil fraud case. Personally, I like Pervert Hoover, which we came up with here at the MeidasTouch Network, but I also like Don Corleone, that's for sure. And normally in these videos, especially the ones that we post right around now, we show you Donald Trump's deranged posts, the unhinged statements. We show you his ranting and ravings, and then we compare it to President Biden's statements so you can see massive differences. Donald Trump whining and airing these bizarre, weird personal grievances. President Biden talking about moving the country forward. But there was also a post from the RNC, which I want to share with you as well, that made me reflect a little bit deeper to recall certain things that were happening in the past that I want to share with you as well. But let's put this all into context. First, in the present, on Sunday, this is what was going on. You had Donald Trump still doing these whiny posts, and I'll only show you just one of them right now, where he goes, "The judge in the AG case," then he puts this in caps, "fraudulently undervalued Mar-a-Lago at $18 million in order to create his fake narrative. He is grossly incompetent and corrupt. I should have zero fine," and he puts that in caps. Well, first off, Justice Engoron did not value anything. He looked at the valuations that you made. He was just using the undisputed valuations, and clearly he was right, because if you say Mar-a-Lago's worth $1.8 billion, then you should be able to extract the equity from it in order to post a bond rather than say that it is impossible. But of course, Mar-a-Lago's not valued anywhere near what Donald Trump says. And also, it is a club. It is a resort. It is not a residential property, and thus it's zoned for commercial purposes. And as a result, it is valued at a much less amount because it's not residential. Fine. Then Donald Trump goes on. By the way, he sent like dozens of emails, email, whining, saying, "Trump Tower is mine. Get your filthy hands off of it." Just a bunch of weird emails that he sent to his supporters. Then he went on Sebastian Gorka. And when he went on Sebastian Gorka, let me just show you three things that he said, and then let me show you what the RNC did, and then let me connect it to some really critical, deeper issues here. So bear with me for a moment. So Donald Trump goes on this right-wing podcast of Sebastian Gorka, someone who's worked with him before. And first he says that 2024 is rigged. Here, play this clip.
Are you confident that this election, at least, will be secure and fair?
So they're going to try and rig it. I have no doubt about it. They've been doing it for years. And look, how can you win on open borders, high interest rates, a woke military, all the things that they talk about, all electric cars? How about all electric cars? They don't go far, they cost too much, and they're made in China. How do you do that? So how can they win with what they do? Their policies are so bad. The thing they do best is cheating at elections and misinformation.
So again, saying the 2024 election is rigged, it's all going to be rigged. I mean, just a bunch of whining. Here, Donald Trump is attacking the auto workers who did not endorse him, but he goes and attacks the auto workers. But this is his life. His life has been attacking workers and bankrupting things. But here, play this clip.
I tell you what, if any auto worker, United Auto Worker or other, if any auto worker voted against Trump, they are not the smartest people.
And then, by the way, here's an event at Mar-a-Lago. You see Kimberly Guilfoyle there, and with Donald Trump speaking. I mean, this is what they're doing. This is what it means to be a Republican in 2024. I mean, how odd is all of this? But share that with me in the comments. But this was the RNC post that they just made over the weekend. And the RNC attacked President Biden for pointing out that Donald Trump told people to inject disinfectant. And here was the RNC post. The RNC, now led by Lara Trump, said, "Biden, flanked by Obama and Pelosi, again peddles the debunked lie that Trump told us to inject ourselves with bleach, 4 years ago. And this is what I mean when I talk about the tactics of the modern day Republican Party, which is full-blown MAGA, as being so Orwellian, so dystopian, so akin to North Korea and Russia, because all they do is gaslight us and lie to us, frankly. The bigger the lie, the more they will lean into it. As we responded on one of our social media accounts, Trump didn't say inject bleach. He said inject disinfectant. The jury wasn't sure if Trump raped her with his penis, only with his finger, because Donald Trump also sued George Stephanopoulos because George Stephanopoulos said the jury found Trump liable for rape, and Trump was saying it was only sexual assault. And so we wrote on our social media account, do Trump and the GOP think that these are really winning messages? But here's the thing. We have the tape from 4 years ago of Donald Trump saying these things. So what I want to do now is let me roll the tape, and then I want to show you a few other things, but I want to show you, because I think leadership is all about saying the tough things, saying the things that people don't always want to hear. So while Donald Trump was saying these things 4 years ago, what was President Biden saying then? I think that's an important exercise that we do here. And just wait until you see this, because I think you'll even be surprised right here. Here, let's roll the tape of Donald Trump talking about injecting disinfectant so you can just hear it for yourself. Play the clip.
You are thinking of if you're totally into that world, which I find to be very interesting. So supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number of the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with, but it sounds interesting to me. So we'll see. But the whole concept of the light, the way it kills it in 1 minute, that's pretty powerful.
And by the way, when COVID hit our shores, here's Donald Trump ranting about windmills 4 years ago to the day, basically. Play the clip.
We want green energy. We want all this stuff. Let's stop drilling oil. They had things in there that were terrible, windmills all over the place and all sorts of credits for windmills that killed the birds and ruined the real estate, right? A lot.
Here's Donald Trump during the same period of time attacking governors, and specifically a lot of Democratic governors, but all governors, for basically not sucking up to him during COVID. And he was like, well, it's a two-way street. I'm not going to help you unless you praise me. Here, just play that clip.
I have 50 governors on the call at the same time. No, I think we're doing very well. But, it's a two-way street. They have to treat us well also. They can't say, oh, gee, we should get this, we should get that. We're doing a great job, like in New York, where we're building, as I said, 4 hospitals, 4 we're literally building hospitals and medical centers. And then I hear that, there's a problem with ventilators. Well, we sent them ventilators, and they could have had 15 or 16,000. All they had to do is order them 2 years ago, but they decided not to do it. They can't blame us for that.
Here's Donald Trump talking about how more people, this is 4 years ago, die in auto accidents than from COVID. I mean, this is just the most vicious lack of leadership that there is. This is the type of stuff that I know there may be some collective amnesia to this. And by the way, we've showed other clips, but I want to show you basically 4 years ago to the day, what was he saying? Here, play this clip.
We lose much more than that to automobile accidents. We didn't call up the automobile companies to say, stop making cars. We don't want any cars anymore. We have to get back to work now.
And here's another one when, remember this, every day back then, the stock market would hit new record lows and have the worst days basically in history. Hence why I would call him Pervert Hoover, but now he's being called Don Corleone. There would be a day where it would go up, because he would, try to peddle false hope. Remember that? And here he was when COVID was raging, bragging about the stock market at that time. Here, play this clip.
A great deal for the people of our country. Today, as you probably saw, the Dow surged over 2,100 points. That's the all-time record history of the exchange. This is very encouraging, and I think part of the reason is they are looking at what is close to being passed, and I think a very big part of it is they see that we want to get our country open as soon as possible. They see we're working very hard on that. That's a very big factor, I think, in today's historic gain. The legislation developed.
So at that same exact time, what was it that President Biden was saying? In fact, not at that same exact. Let's go a year earlier. Let's go to October 25th of 2019. What was President Biden saying? President Biden, at that time it was Joe Biden, not VP, not president. Here's what he had to say. We are not prepared for a pandemic. Trump has rolled back the progress that President Obama and I made to strengthen global health security. We need leadership that builds public trust, focuses on real threats, and mobilizes the world to stop outbreaks before they reach our shores. And he's responding to a Washington Post article that says none of these 195 countries in the U.S. included is fully prepared for a pandemic report. And what did all the MAGA supporters do? They all attacked Joe Biden for saying all of that. Here, for example, is someone saying, we are probably not prepared for the meteor either. How about we focus resources on the daily problems we have instead of the 1 in 10,000 year event that is likely not going to happen anyways? Then someone goes, creepy Joe, because this is what MAGA does. They don't analyze the data. They come up with a nickname, and this is how they communicate with each other. This person goes, creepy Joe, the scare tactics and fear mongering doesn't work anymore. We the people are a lot smarter than you. Trump 2020. Here's another person who goes, the left won't win by peddling fear. I could show you thousands of messages like that from MAGA supporters, but you get the point. It was in October of 2019, Joe Biden was telling us that we weren't prepared and what we need to do to get prepared. And instead they were going creepy Joe and, and all of this ridiculous stuff. And then when President Biden won, I wanted to share with you what his message was, because his message was not false hope. His message wasn't the lies. His message wasn't the propaganda. His message was a tough one. And this is what he said in December. Things are going to be difficult. Things will be worse before they get better. Not peddling the lies, not peddling the propaganda. Things are going to be worse. And they were. He was being honest with us. And now he's been able to address these issues from COVID. He did everything he told us he was going to do, and now the economy is on the right track. Things need to get better for lots of people. I get that, but he put things on track, and there's more jobs right now than ever. There's the lowest unemployment than ever. There is record every day on the stock market. Seems like it's another record high, whether it's the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P. He's brought semiconductor industries here. He's protected the veterans. He's talking about issues. And you see what Donald Trump's still talking about today. Play this clip, though. I want to remind you of what President Biden said right after he was elected and before he was sworn in. Play this clip.
But even with the changes in approach I'm going to put in place in late January, people are still going to be getting sick and dying from COVID. One thing I promise you about my leadership during this crisis, I'm going to tell it to you straight. I'm going to tell you the truth. And here's the simple truth. Our darkest days in the battle against COVID are ahead of us, not behind us. So we need to prepare ourselves to steel our spines. As frustrating it is to hear, it's going to take patience, persistence, and determination to beat this virus. There'll be no time to waste in taking the steps we need to turn this crisis around. My administration will start to do its part on our first day in office with masking requirements, a new strategy for testing, accelerated protection, protective gear. And we're going to challenge Congress and the American people to step up immediately as well to do their part.
So, folks, this is all part. I know that happened in the past, but we have to kind of situate all of this within its appropriate historical context, and we have to contextualize it the way we did here on the MeidasTouch Network for you. So, hit subscribe. I think I've told you about this before, but we also just started a MeidasTouch True Crime channel led by David Arenberg. If you search True Crime MTN on YouTube, you'll be able to check it out. Because I get a lot of times people saying, hey, really love the hot takes. Can you just do some hot takes on legal issues and stuff outside of kind of Trump and politics? Yes, but I'm not going to, this channel is going to remain exactly what it is. So if you want to see it on another channel, go search True Crime MTN right now. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Have a great one.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.